What I'd like to do is create a series of enemies. In this example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an invisible controller, and it's just going to send them out on a regular basis. So create an object, controller, and when he's created, he's going to set up an alarm, maybe every 60 steps. When that alarm goes off, it's going to reset to 60, and it'll create a new enemy 1. It turns out it doesn't matter where I place it, because I said to set it absolute. So the enemy, no matter where I place him in the room, should jump to where the path is, assuming you've set absolute in the set path here in the enemy. Toss the controller in the room, away we go. All right, very good. So now I need to do the thing where the enemies actually take damage. So in the enemy's create event, I'm also going to set up that it has a certain number of hits. So for this one, I'm going to say 5 hits, for example. Anytime this guy has a collision with my bullet, he's going to set hits to be -1 relative. After this happens, I should check to see if this guy needs to die. So if hits is smaller than 1, he should die. So let's line up a bunch of these guys. Notice that the bullets are going through them, which is why it's doing multiple hits to them. So besides subtracting 1 from the hits, I should probably destroy the bullet object, the other thing in this. Now, it's kind of hard to tell. It would be nice if we could figure out some way to see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a health bar over the top of this enemy. In order to do that, I'm actually going to need to create some draw events. Now, this is new. Draw events we haven't used yet. The draw events, you can tell the difference because they are tan. So this is a draw event, or a draw action. It only goes in a draw event, whereas this is a test in the set. So if I'm going to make a health bar draw above this enemy, I have to put it into a draw event. Now, an interesting thing, if you have a draw event in here, it doesn't draw your sprite by default. So for example, if I draw some rectangle, doesn't matter what, and I run this, notice the ghosts aren't appearing. They're actually there, they're actually wandering around, but we just can't see them because we're not drawing anything. So what I need to do is I need to redraw his sprite at his own X and his own Y position. And by the way, if your subimage is -1, by default that means whatever your current animation is on. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to draw a box over his head, which I'm going to set to be red here in just a moment, but I need to figure out where it's placed. So I centered this guy, so his X and Y is right in his center. So if I just say X and Y, this X position is in the center. What I'd like to do is have it draw to the left a certain amount. So this guy is 32 by 32, so I'm going to subtract 16 to make it to the left of him. And then I'm also going to do X plus 16 so that the other side of the box is to the right side of him. As for up and down, I want it to draw above his head. Well, 16 above his head is exactly touching. So if I do Y minus 16, that'll place it directly above him. Let's see, I think I want to make this health bar about 5 pixels tall. So I'm going to subtract 21, which is 5 more pixels beyond that. The other thing I need to do is before I do this, I should set the color. So I'm going to choose a color red for the background color, and I'll draw a green bar over the top of that. There he is. All right, so now I'd like to draw a green bar, which is over the top. So how do I figure out how to draw this rectangle such that it somehow corresponds to how many hits he has? What I'd like it to do is if he has a full set of hits, if his hits is 5, I want the green bar to draw all the way across. If his hits is close to 0, I want it to draw hardly anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another box. I'm actually going to set the left side in exactly the same spot, x minus 16, y minus 21, and the height of this is going to be the same, y minus 16. If you want to move it further up, by the way, adjust both these numbers and you'll be fine. This is the tricky one. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start at the left side of the bar. I'm going to add my percentage of health here times 32. So the amount of health I have is hits divided by however many I started with. Well, that shouldn't change, but hits is going to change. Uh-oh, I need to put something here. What I need to do is create another variable. I'm going to call this max hits and set that equal to my original number. So hits is going to change, but max hits never will. So the way I figure out how much of a percentage of hits I have is it's hits divided by max hits. So the idea should be that if I'm at full health, so 5 out of 5, 5 divided by 5 is 1, times 32 is 32. So this will become x minus 16 plus 32. Hey, that's x plus 16, so that should be all the way across, just like the other one. What if I'm close to 0? So 0 divided by 5 is 0, times 32 is still 0, so it's just going to make a vertical line from x minus 16 to x minus 16. All right. Blam, blam, blam. Outstanding. So now I can actually see what's going on. These bears are terrible shots. Maybe I should make faster bullets. So the secret formula to this is basically you take the left side and make that the same in both x1 and x2 for the thing drawing over the top. This is how wide your bar is, so it's 32 across. And this is the percentage of your health, which is your current amount divided by your maximum amount. This should allow you to create any size bar that you want. All right, that's what I want to do to begin with. Hopefully you can get started on how to create your enemies and your towers.